Hello and welcome back to this channel. My name is Ashley Jade, for those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who did, welcome back, welcome to another video. This video is about vision boards. If you don't know what a vision board is, it is basically just a visual representation of your goals, of your desires, of your dreams, of the life that you want to have. And who doesn't want their dream life to come to pass, right? So this is one of those ways that help you get there, and for multiple different reasons, which I will be going into depth with. A vision board helps you make your dreams and your desires and your goals more tangible because it's in front of you, because you can see it, because it becomes a daily reminder if you put it somewhere strategic, which I recommend you do. It'll help make your dreams that so often seem impossible, completely overwhelming, and way out of reach, or at least mine do, a little more tangible and a little closer to home. I have done a new vision board because I am trying to make my life as intentional as possible. I'm so aware now more than ever that life is short, our days are numbered, and we don't know just how much time we actually have. So I want to make sure that the little bit of time that I do have on this planet Earth is not wasted, is lived to its fullest potential, and that I would be able to achieve and live my most successful life possible. And let's be honest, who doesn't want to live a successful, fun, fulfilling, and free life? Most people that I know, most people that I talk to would fully sign up and say a big fat yes to wanting to live happy and successful. So this is one of the ways that I am planning on living the life of my dreams, to manifest, to declare, to prophetically interrupt the mundane and the normal with some intentional, deliberate dreams and desires that are in my heart. The funniest part about all this is that this vision board right here that I have just finished making, and this little vision that I wrote down in my Bible on the 15th of May in 2017 actually look a whole lot alike. It's bizarre and it's weird because I'd forgotten about it. And when I started making my vision board for the next 3 to 5 years, I didn't realize that it was already written down from 4 years ago. Okay, let's get straight into it. So, the best part about making a vision board is that you do not need to know how you're going to make this all happen. The point of this vision board is not to come up with a step-by-step process on how you're going to achieve your dream job, how you're going to have 400 babies. I'm joking, don't have 400 babies. But the point is, you can dream as big as you want to dream, be as outlandish as you want to be. The point is not to know how you're going to get there. It's just setting out a clear vision, having something that you can run towards and refer back to when you're making decisions. Without vision, people perish. Vision gives us discipline and clarity, and it gives us the freedom to say yes and the freedom to say no when things do not align with where we ultimately want to go, which then means that vision reduces our stress, it reduces our overwhelm, because we weren't created to do everything. In fact, if you look around, most successful people actually only did one thing really well. And I'm one of those culprits that constantly thinks I have to do everything and be everything to everyone and achieve everything, when in fact, if I had a clear picture of the vision and of the dream and of the most successful life that I want to live, I would very easily be able to say no to certain things and be able to say yes to the things that I know will contribute and add to my life's vision. So ultimately, vision should reduce the stress and anxiety in our lives, and it should allow and create room for and freedom to be able to focus on the things that you want, to be able to create time. You know that excuse we all have? Oh, sorry, can't help, I don't have time. Or I wish I could have that body, but I just don't have the time. Or we all know that excuse far too well. Well, vision will very quickly eliminate that excuse, because you'll start saying yes to the things that you know will help contribute towards the vision that you have, and no to the things that won't. So does it work? Does putting all your dreams and desires and goals into a cute little, what is this called? Montage? Collage. Into a cute little collage, does it actually work? Well, I haven't done one like this. I often write out my goals and not necessarily put them into visual representations, But when I have done it, 90% of the things that I have written down usually come to pass. So if 90% of what's on here comes to pass, I will be a very, very happy and successful lady in my standards of success. Of course, that is different to everyone. But basically, just quickly to say how you can do it or how I've chosen to do it. There are a bazillion videos on YouTube that will clearly explain to you how you can create a vision board. But I have included things, so my personal relationship with God is front and center. Then I have home, family stuff. I have adventure and fun and friendships. I have business, a whole bunch of like business, career things, and then how they all mush together. So as much as I've like tried to categorize different areas, I've also mixed them up a bit, because one of the biggest limiting beliefs that I have is that it is impossible for me to be a successful businesswoman and have an amazing career and be a successful, amazing mom and wife at the same time. So those two things in my current frame of thinking clash a lot, and I often worry. I'm like, how on earth am I going to be an amazing mom, an amazing wife, and just have this beautiful family while still being the career woman that I want to be? So the reason why I have mushed in a bunch of different things is because it's just part of my vision and plan to be able to do both, and do both really well. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to say no to a lot of other things, and that is where I am excited to build discipline so that I can do those things. Anyway, so something that I did at the beginning of this year, which has hugely added to why I have been able to get into a space of creating a very clear vision board for the next few years of my life, is I started reading again. I've read it before, but I started going through this book, The Prayer of Jabez. Now, this is a prime example of don't judge a book by its cover. A friend of mine, while I was studying a few years ago, recommended it to me, and when it arrived, I was a little disappointed because the cover is a bit like, bleh. Do you know what I mean? It's like very Christian. Anyway, it's phenomenal. Like, all my judgmental judge a book by it was completely wrong. The breakthrough that this little book has brought to my life is actually quite crazy. I'm going to read to you a very quick story from this book. It's literally like half a page. This story, or this part of the book, is titled Mr. Jones Goes to Heaven. What if you found out that God had it in mind to send you 23 specific blessings today, but you got only one? What do you suppose the reason would be? There's a little fable about Mr. Jones who dies and goes to heaven. Peter is waiting at the gates to give him a tour. Amid the splendor of the golden streets, beautiful mansions, choirs of angels that Peter shows him, Mr. Jones notices an odd-looking building. He thinks it looks like an enormous warehouse. It has no windows and only one door. But when he asks to see inside it, Peter hesitates. You really don't want to see what's in there, he tells the new arrival. Why would there be any secrets in heaven? Jones wonders. What incredible surprise could be waiting for me in there? When the official tour is over and he's still wondering, so he asks again to see inside the structure. Finally, Peter relents. When the apostle opens the door, Mr. Jones almost knocks him over in his haste to enter. It turns out that the enormous building is filled with row after row of shelves, floor to ceiling, each stacked neatly with white boxes tied in red ribbons. These boxes all have names on them, Mr. Jones muses aloud. Then, turning to Peter, he asks, do I have one? Yes, you do, Peter tries to guide Mr. Jones back outside. Frankly, Peter says, if I were you, but Mr. Jones is already dashing towards the J aisle to find his box. Peter follows, shaking his head. He catches up with Mr. Jones, just as he is slipping the red ribbon off his box and popping the lid. Looking inside, Jones has a moment of instant recognition, and he's let out a deep sigh like the ones Peter has heard so many times before. Because there, in Mr. Jones's white box, are all the blessings that God wanted to give him while he was on earth, but Mr. Jones had never asked. Ask, promised Jesus, and it will be given to you. Matthew 7:7. You do not have because you do not ask, said James. James 4:2. Even though there is no limit to God's goodness, if you didn't ask Him for a blessing yesterday, you didn't get all that you were supposed to have. That's the catch. If you don't ask for blessings, you forfeit those that come to you only when you ask. In the same way that a father is honored to have a child beg for his blessing, your Father is delighted to respond generously when His blessing is what you covet most. God's nature is to bless. Sure, how wild. So I read that story and it shook me to my core. Whenever I think about it, whenever I think about this story, my immediate response is one of prayer and is one of saying, okay, God, whatever blessing you have for me, not the blessing that I desperately want, whatever blessing you have for me for today, God, may I see it, may I catch the moment, may I catch the opportunity. And that, my friends, really, really does work. I've seen some wild things this year. So this little book, don't judge it before you read it. I encourage you to spend some time figuring out what your vision is for your life. Spend some time asking God what the vision is for your life, and then write it down. Make it clear. Turn it into a visual representation. Hang it up somewhere where you're going to see this. This little guy is going to live above my desk. I sit at my desk pretty much every day or pass it every day, even on the weekends. So this is going somewhere where I'm going to see it all the time, so that I'm constantly reminded and inspired to create more discipline in my life, so that I might achieve this vision and the dream of my life. And then most importantly, trust the process. Don't take control of this. Don't micromanage this. Just trust the process. Leave it up to God. Trust that random opportunities are going to open up in front of you, doors are going to open, and things are going to start happening because you have a vision and because you are welcoming and you are opening yourself up to more blessing in your life. And if you can't do that, if this whole vision board thing is not something that you enjoy, why are you watching this video? Anyway, and secondly, at least open yourself up to asking God for His blessing every morning. Whatever gift He has for you, ask Him for it for that day. Ask Him to open up your eyes to see that gift, and become expectant each morning for God's best for you that day. If you enjoyed this video, if you found value in it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We are almost at the first 100 subscribers of this channel, which is very exciting. If you go ahead and make a vision board, please be sure to let me know. Send me a message on Instagram, however you want to do it. Just tag me, let me know all the things. I would love to go on this journey with you, and I'd love to be able to look back this time next year or in 2 years' time and just see all the crazy things that have happened in your life because of vision. Anyway, that is it from me. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next week for another video.